Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tina and today I am going to be doing my June wrap-up. This is my third attempt to record this. The first two times that I recorded it, I didn't like how it came out. I feel like I was talking way too much about the books and yeah, it just seemed very bad to me. So I'm hoping the third time is the charm. So if you're interested in watching what I read in June, then please keep on watching. So yeah, before we get started, I apologize for the glare in my glasses. I'm sitting right here in front of my window in my room. Yeah, so the reason why I'm in my room is because everywhere else is pretty dirty. We are in the process of packing, so yeah, that's why I'm here in my room. It looks less dirty. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so I didn't get a chance to read a lot in June, mainly because I didn't find the time to read it, but I did manage to read 3 books in June, which I am pretty proud of myself because it was pretty much crammed into 2 weeks. I am not a fast reader, so even reading 3 books within that time period is pretty good for me. So yeah, the first book that I did read for the month of June was Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I read this book because I did hear a lot about it on BookTube, or it was circling sorry, I can't talk. It was circling around BookTube because of the 3rd book that just came out, Finale. So a lot of people were talking about it and it did sound very interesting to me, so I decided to pick it up first at the library. After I finished it, I went and bought a physical copy for myself because I wanted a physical copy to add to my book collection on my bookshelf, and also because if I ever wanted to reread it, because I probably will end up rereading it because I actually really enjoyed it, I have my own physical copy. So anyways, let's talk about the book. So this book follows 2 sisters, Scarlett and Donatella. They've heard stories of Caraval from their grandmother since they were very young, so Scarlett decided to write letters to the ringmaster named Legend. She writes him letters to let him know that she wants to go to his show and would very much like to be invited, because you have to be invited in order to go to Caraval. So she's always wanted to go, like I said, because they've heard stories from their grandma. So she writes letters but never gets a response until finally one day she does get a response from him, and her and her sister set off to Caraval. Now there is a lot of a story between, but I'm not going to get too in depth because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who decides to read this book. So on their journey to Caraval, before they went to Caraval, Donatella ends up meeting this fisherman, and his name is Julian, and that's how they get to Caraval, is through him. Donatella ends up going to the Isle of Caraval first before Scarlett arrives there. When Scarlett gets there, she soon realizes that her sister has been taken and is gonna be the pawn of the whole entire game of Caraval, because Caraval is not necessarily like a circus, but there are performers. It's more like a game. So Scarlett has to play the game in order to get to her sister Donatella, and she's not only playing by herself, she's playing with a lot of other contestants who have been invited to the Isle of Caraval. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the main topics of the book. Like I said, I don't want to get too in depth because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who wants to actually physically read the book, and I really suggest you do read the book. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Caraval by Stephanie Garber. The next book I did decide to read, of course, I did tell you guys that I wanted to start rereading one of my all-time favorite series, and that is The Fallen by Lauren Kay. I did manage to finish this book and I loved it like I did the first time. I did give this book a 5 out of 5 stars, of course, because I did love it so much. Nothing's changed. The only thing I did notice was there was a little bit of spelling typos, but to me that doesn't bother me. I am not one to talk about I am not the one to talk about incorrections because I can barely even say names. So yeah, that didn't bother me much, but I know I wanted to put it out there because I know there are people who might find that a little bit frustrating to read a book and there's some type of misspelling, but to me it didn't bother me. I knew what they were talking about, so yeah. So this book is about a character named Lucinda Price, but everybody calls her Luce. In the story, she has to go to a boarding school because she was involved in an incident that she does not remember. So it lands her in boarding school, and the school is called Swarting Cross. Her first arrival day, she is on a tour with a girl named Arian, and during the tour, Lucinda pretty much feels like she doesn't feel like she needs to be there because everybody there seems like they're more troubled than she is. So she feels like she doesn't need to be there, but throughout the whole entire orientation with her Arian showing her around, she does find herself looking at a boy there, and for some reason she feels like there is a deep connection, but she can't figure out why. She feels like she's seen this guy before but can't remember where she's seen him. Whenever he does lock eyes with her and notices that she's staring at him, he flips her off and like turns away. So he acknowledges her, but not in the way that she would hope. So throughout the whole story, Lucinda is pretty much trying to figure out what is this guy's problem and why is he so mean if he has no idea who she is. Like, she's just pretty much confused about that whole situation. So throughout the story, she does encounter the boy who is named Daniel Gregory. She does encounter him throughout the story, and there's always this awkward thing between them. It's like she has this strong connection that she wants to get to know him, and he's just like, get away from me, I don't want to get to know you. So that's pretty much how it is throughout the whole story, until finally it becomes clear that there is a reason why he is being so distant from her and is trying not to get to know her, and she will discover that. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about. I want to say that the reason why Lucinda knows Daniel is because they have met before, but in a past life. So yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna leave it with. I think this is such an amazing book that doesn't get the hype that it deserves. I don't know, I just really love it. So if you're interested in reading this book, I suggest you to read it. Just give it a try. Just read the first one. I honestly think that once you read the first one, you're gonna want to read the second one, because just to see where this whole journey goes. So yeah, Fallen by Lauren Kate. So the next book I did pick up was, I was planning on reading The Hunger Games Catching Fire. Since I had already read the first one, I wanted to read the second one, but I decided to push that book for an upcoming readathon that I will be participating in. So it's part of one of the challenges, so I decided just to go ahead and move it over since it does have a movie adaptation. So yeah, I didn't read The Hunger Games for June, but I did pick up We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. I picked this book up because it was fairly short, so I didn't want to jump into something a little bit more heavy since the other two books were a little bit more up there in pages. So I did pick this one up. This one was part of the Pride Month table at Barnes & Noble. I decided to pick this one up because it sounded very interesting, and like I said, it was very short. So in this story, we follow two main characters, Marin and Mabel. They are two best friends who've been friends for a while, not long, but they've been friends for some time. But throughout their friendship, they managed to find deeper feelings within one another, where they pretty much become girlfriends, but not in the public. You know, they keep their relationship to themselves, but when they're out and about in front of everybody, they are, you know, best friends. They are undetachable, like they are always with one another. So during this story, Marin, she's living with her grandfather. Her mother passed away when she was a little girl. So throughout the story, It's just been Marin and her grandpa, and until one day her grandpa goes missing, and then this is when they find out that her grandpa has actually passed away. He died the same way his daughter did, and that was in the ocean where they live by. He drowned. So this is a big deal for Marin because she also discovers other things that her grandpa's been hiding from her, and she cannot process this. So what she does, she's already graduated from high school and she's just waiting for college to start for herself. But she ends up just running off to where her college is at, and she doesn't tell anybody that she's leaving. She just packs what she needs and takes off. So throughout the story, she's pretty much there alone and hasn't talked to anybody from back home, including her best friend Mabel, until Mabel one day shows up at Marin's college and they get to discussing what happened. I will say that this book deals with mental health, anxiety, and depression. So if you are not prepared to read something like that, I highly suggest that you kind of wait until you are, because it does deal with, you know, depression and, you know, just mental health altogether. So I really enjoyed this book. Marin and Mabel just uncovering what and why Marin decided to get up and just take off without nobody ever knowing and not answering anybody's calls, and just really Mabel's just really trying to get to the bottom of why Marin's been so distant and hasn't talked to anybody, especially her, since they were really close. So yeah, Mabel discovers everything that Marin has discovered, and at the end of it, Marin finds a sudden peace because she finds what she's been looking for. If you are interested in reading the book, I highly suggest you read the book if you are mentally prepared for it. It's just a good read altogether, and it's very short. I hope I did that book justice. I know I felt like I was a little bit everywhere with that because I just don't want to get too in depth with it. It is one of those books that you got to be a little bit patient with. It's about a person that's been hiding their feelings, so it's kind of hard for somebody to discuss their feelings when they don't even understand the feelings themselves. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I actually read for the month of June. I hope you guys enjoyed this wrap up. If you did, subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys read. If you plan on reading any of these, let me know down below. Also, if you like the video, give it a big like. I don't know if I said that. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right off because I have nothing more to say. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Oh wait, before I go, I want to say thank you guys so much for all the love that I've been getting. Ever since I did my first booktube newbie tag, I have been getting so much love, and the booktube community has been so kind to me, and I just really want to say thank you guys. You guys have literally boosted my confidence, and yeah, when I posted that video, I did not expect to get the response that I got, and I am like forever grateful. Like I said, you guys are super kind, and just being able to feel like I found my place here on YouTube makes me that much more motivated and positive. And yeah, I can't wait to get to know you guys more. So yeah, I hope you guys again enjoyed the video. Give it a like, and I'll see you guys on the next one.